And when it really gets down to it, Kamala Harris is the favored candidate of the people who ran the State Department under Hillary Clinton. And that is very clear. And that there were disagreements between Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. He got rid of Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State and replaced her with John Kerry. And that when Hillary Clinton was the Secretary of State during Obama's first term, we saw what happened, which was they were fomenting unrest and chaos all over the world in order to bring down governments they did not like. The government of Libya was the most prosperous country on the African continent. And, we saw what happened, which is cruise missiles. It was destroyed. Now the country's in ruin. People are drowning in the Mediterranean trying to get out of Libya. Syria was reduced to a civil war, millions of refugees, hundreds of thousands dead. And a lot of that was the U.S. State Department coordinating with social media to create unrest. And the result, we had the rise of ISIS and the terrorists in ISIS, and it was a disaster. Well, we understand where this comes from. There was an ideologue named Anne Marie Slaughter, who's with New America, or sometimes it's called the New America Foundation, the New American Institute. It's a think tank, and she openly talked about what she believed in. I mean, she wrote a very powerful essay talking about how the fight in the world today is between what she calls the open international system, globalism, and populists, and how populist leaders like Gaddafi in Libya, like Bashar Assad, or like Putin in Russia, or like, the people who support Brexit in Britain or Marine Le Pen, populist leaders are the danger, and that we need to promote this open international system, and that the goal is to foment unrest and chaos around the world to protect that open international system. And that's very openly stated by the Hillary Clinton State Department, by Anne Marie Slaughter, Samantha Power, and others. And there was a decision that was made in 2020 when it was made clear that Hillary Clinton couldn't run again. There was a meeting that was widely reported on in the local press in the Hamptons in Long Island, where all the Hillary Clinton backers took their money from Hillary Clinton and they put it behind Kamala Harris. She is Hillary Clinton's chosen successor. And I go over in the book about how it looks a lot like Joe Biden did everything he could to not name her as the VP. It was a very late decision. The Democrat National Convention schedule, you'll remember in 2020, listed Kamala Harris as separate from the VP speaker. And after that schedule came out, Kamala Harris unfollowed Joe Biden on Twitter, and it looked like she was not going to be the VP nominee. 6 hours later, she was named the VP nominee. It was 10 days late, and the Biden administration did everything they could to avoid her. And if you look at what's come out since she's been in office, her staff, she can't keep them. There is a toxic atmosphere in her office. She is just, she is brutal to her staff. She doesn't make any mistakes. The only mistakes that can be made are by them. There is an atmosphere that is very competitive. Nobody on Capitol Hill likes the Harris people, they're called, for the way they treat other people. There is something particularly dangerous about Kamala Harris. And the more you look into it, it's not simply a matter of a very ambitious person. It's a matter of somebody who is very indifferent to other people's suffering. It's a matter of somebody who has a lot of pain and trauma and rage and a desire for vengeance. There is some really dangerous stuff going on there. And she is in an alliance with the regime change apparatus, the people that want to spread chaos and tear down governments around the world to preserve this open international system. There's a lot there people should be concerned